Now on Blip.tv, Frater vs. Marathon. See the exploits of Rio and Ninja Gaiden. Do you enjoy ninjas? Do you enjoy tainted horse meat? Do you enjoy an age actor complaining about our modern society? Do you want to see an actor upset because his favorite restaurant, Omar's Tainted Horse Meat Snacker Shack of Crackton, Ohio, is closed for 3 days? And because of this, Rio must suffer. See these exploits and more at Blip.tv. Frater vs. Marathon. Sunday.
Welcome to Frater vs. Marathon. This is a new series based on the fact that, you know, unlike YouTube, like when I do a YouTube review, usually can only be 10 minutes long, and they're scripted. So, what I'm gonna do is play this mostly on Justin TV, and I will sell this a very cheap DVD, just so that, you know, there's some products out there. This music right here is just classic. I mean, that's the thing is with the Nintendo, it just had this incredible synthesizers. I mean, for a couple years ago, I used to have a music project, and I tell you, I wish I had those kind of sounds. You know, there's now a lot of people wonder if Ryu is actually the Ryu from Street Fighter 2. But they're a different company. I don't know. I don't think so. Remember the first time when this game came out, I was like probably like 8 years old, and I mean everyone in school had the Nintendo Power, you know, with showing this game off. And you really knew this was like the next big thing. And, before this, it was like Double Dragon was another game that was tremendous, you know. And that's the thing, is a lot of these kind of games are just kind of disappear, you know. Like, yeah, you got the Ninja Gaiden Sigma, you know, but it was different back then. And some of these titles were just tremendous. Now this level here is as basic as it gets. Sort of introduces you to some of the slight elements you're going to meet later on, because you're going to get your ass raped. you're going to get brutalized. And it's funny because if you actually think yourself as a good gamer, I mean, I guess I try to think myself as a good gamer when it comes to Nintendo. I mean, I'll tell you, I suck at modern games. I actually do suck pretty badly at modern games. Mostly it's because of the 3D orientation. That's a lot. There's kids who are 12 years old playing Modern Warfare 2, and they're just destroying people because their brains have become so used to way those games are. But, you know, you have to understand, I mean, there was no real 3D games until Mario 64 and stuff, and GoldenEye. Now, you had a PC, that's a different thing all to itself. But you have to understand, not everyone had a PC. This boss here, he's pretty neat. He's one of those bosses where you just go in and take out as quickly as possible. You will see later on, there are some bosses that you just have to destroy. I mean, you can't even waste time with. And this was really one of these first games where it incorporated a storyline. There was a lot of innovation with this game. I mean, a lot of people don't understand, you know, there was a time when side-scrollers just consisted of maybe a few levels. This game had many levels. And, hell, it wasn't that long before this where games consisted of maybe a screen or two. Look at Pac-Man. Doesn't really leave the screen. It doesn't leave the same screen all the time. Same thing with like games like Burger Time and stuff. They may have a variation on the same concept. They don't have entirely different levels. This has all kinds of different levels. This game's problem, though, is it's just so fucking brutal. But the only game it beats is Ghosts and Goblins. Ghosts and Goblins was a horrific game. It was just, and the thing is, later on, I tell you something. I only made it to about the village. You know, that small village you can enter. I made it to there as a kid. The game was brutal. I mean, and the thing is, I didn't even know later on that with Ghosts and Goblins, you know, that you can make it all the way to the last boss, and then all of a sudden you find out, well, it's all a trick, and you have to start all over again. I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, that's the reason why that game gets on people's shit lists. You know, that's the reason why game reviewers make fun of it, because it's just. It just goes. It becomes too comical. You know that. I mean, there's a certain point where, you know, something's actually too hard to be fun. You know, that's the way Ghosts and Goblins is. I think Ghosts and Goblins, what it has for it is nostalgia. I mean, there are people who remember how hilariously hard it was. I recorded this beforehand. Although I really wish I probably had recorded it before, just so that you could hear me screaming. So this game, if you don't get pissed off at this, man, you better check to see if you're even alive. This guy right here, I don't know why. He's just a pain in the ass. I just keep taking hits from him. But you're gonna see. See, the big problem with this game is if you even move in one direction the wrong way, you're gonna have a character respawning on you just by moving backwards. See, like how he keeps respawning, you know. And there are parts where there are birds respawning almost like right on the spot. And Jesus Christ, it's just so hard. This guy right here, this guy is so infamous in the series. I die. This section here, I die a lot. And I do use save states on this one. It's just, sorry, it's just a hard game. And I know that's not pure. You know, I know some guy from the Nintendo Championships wouldn't have done that, but oh well. And by the way, you know, although I highly doubt you'd see him beating this game. As evil as that sounds for me to say that, I highly doubt you would be able to beat this. Well, at least some help. Because it is hard, especially, I will tell you this, I do not, with this marathon, you know, I had had the attention of actually beating this game. I don't care how many save states, how many deaths, that I would eventually do it. You know, I was kind of, I started this whole thing because I noticed 4Player Podcast was doing marathons. You know, a week of marathons. I thought, oh, I should try something myself. So this started this concept. You know, this is a little separate from my normal Frater versus Retro show, because that's like a scripted 10-minute show. Ah, fuck. It's a scripted 10-minute show. This is not scripted. This is off the wall. Nothing written. You can hear all the sneezes, the snorts, everything else. That's the problem about recording this. Probably this time of year, you start getting into hay fever. And another thing too is that I recorded it like this. You know, you'll see, you know, that each segment is recorded in about 10 anywhere from 10 to 20 minute different segments. Mainly it's just because when it comes down to actually uploading the video into Lulu, it's you know, I'm not gonna get a gigabyte into one loading. It's just impossible. Go crazy and make crap out. And Lulu's system is not exactly the most efficient, even though I've gotten products out that way. I know some people will say, well, you know, yeah, but, you know, I mean, you go out there and you're going to entertain people, you know, to be honest, you know. I mean, why not create a possibility, at least creating something that could mean you can take care of yourself, you don't have to work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week. I would love just to work 3 days a week. You know, like, for example, this DVD, I don't think the production cost is too much. So, you know, maybe I can have like a $5 royalty on this, and if enough people bought that, that would be cool. I mean, yeah, there's times when, you know, commercialize yourself a little too much. But you know, you should always, you know, I hate to sound like a businessman, but you know, like, you know, when you start a project, even something like this, sometimes you should at least have a t-shirt or something, because as people start to get interested in your product, you know, they're going to want to buy something, you know, they're going to want to have some tangible and physical of your product. And that's just always been the way I am. Anything I'm interested in, I try to find a way to actually create an actual job out of it. You know, for example, I can't actually, here's the actual truth of it, I actually cannot play video games unless I know that there's some kind of profit, some kind of business, some kind of, you know, I don't feel right just sitting there for 12 hours a day and playing games. If I, you know, it's not going to lead to sales or book sales or whatever. So everything I like, I try to find some kind of project that can help out of it. Now, because of the internet, I can do that. I can do this. And these kind of let's play. This is not exactly a full let's play. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I make it to the last stage of this game, but I just get overwhelmed. And I rage quit. I make it to the end, and I did actually get past some key parts, but you know, this game got very frustrating. But you know, like I say, you know, there are some people who like to be very true. You know, they don't want to be non-profit. They don't, and that's fine. But you have a lot of people, you know, understand this. You know, you're still going to be working at Burger. You're still going to be flipping burgers. Or you're still going to be working in data entry. And that means you can't broadcast as much. You can't do this as much. Now, you know, I'm going to tell you something. You know, the way I am. I'll tell you how I work. If I need money, I'm going to make a product. So somebody has something. I hate to bash others, but, you know, I'm seeing too much of a trend where people want to go to, say, for example, E3, or go to any of those conventions. They just ask for donations, and yes, people pay the bill. But a lot of times, sometimes, whoever that is, you know, since they don't meet certain promises, it's just easier, in my opinion, and more professional, that if you really need the money, that you just make a product. Just make a product, make a DVD of, you know, your Let's Plays, or podcast, whatever. Do that. That's much easier. This level starts introducing sort of the pain elements of Ninja Gaiden, where you're starting to have a lot of respawning on the screen, and you're also dealing with sort of these, basically, you know, it's just like AVGN stuff, and then, you know, that's another thing too. Also, I do on my show, one of the things I do is, if somebody said something, I reference it. A lot of people don't do that. It's just professional courtesy. But a lot of, like what AVGN was saying, and that's really true here. A lot of times you have about a pixel or two to get something right. So, for example, that guy who was standing on that ledge right over there, it means is basically you have to basically jump right there, bam. You have to hit him right there at the right spot. It is very difficult. I mean, this game is, its hardness is elite in its own way. It's just to be loved for how difficult it is. Because I play games that are playing, you know, that people play, you know, they love these games, and to me they're just kind of easy. It's a game like this is like just brutal. The only thing is like for a while, you know. Yeah, for a short while, you know, some people are trying to make fun of this game. You know, it didn't last very long. I think people going back and realizing this is classic. Right there, that's, I mean, those guys just keep coming. That's what she said. controls in Ninja Gaiden are also pretty good. They're really pretty good. The only thing is a lot of times what will fuck you up on is the wall jump. Because there are some levels that are perfectly designed where you'll get hit and you end up getting like stuck on the wall. So you end up taking extra hits because of that. This guy is real difficult. I mean, he is probably the most difficult character. Same thing is about these old NES games. Oh man. Sad thing about them is that they can only be truly fully utilized now because of save states. I mean, you could actually check out levels that you could never check out because you don't have the skill to do so. You could kill a lot right here. That's the thing too with Ninja Gaiden. It doesn't give you much invincibility once you get hit. I mean, literally you can see. I mean, you just get your ass raised. That's the way it is in this game. There are actually some moments, I remember from this marathon, where it is literally like I am dragging Ryo's corpse to a door. He's like dead to me, and I just go, fuck you. I got his dead corpse to the door. Can you just give it to me? There's some areas of this game that you didn't have a save state, man. I would be constantly going back to the level. I don't even think I'd be at the last level. Save state is a miracle. I mean, yeah, maybe sometimes. There's times where you're trying to be pure about it. Unless you're trying to move forward in the game. Consider everything about NES games are just... You didn't need any logic. Like why are all the GIs just jumping out of nowhere? There's no helicopter, no I'd definitely say this is the level where the shit hits the fan. After all that. It's just a race to get his energy down before it hits you. There is one boss I found that, basically there is kind of a safe spot. The only thing that can kill you is basically running out of time. The rest are not like that. They're just...
as I grew up more and more suspicious of what else to look for. So first acquaintance of my father, Mr. Smith.
I guess I'll do some voice acting.
Hey, this is it. You must be Walter Smith. My name's Ryan. Radio Hayabusa. That's sword. First, you must be Ryan Hayabusa, said. If you're not there, my father told me I should see you. Last letter, I see. It's already begun. ... Can I went around to the condition to have Amazon ruined? It's very strange, Doctor, and no everything in the tablet is dead. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that statue? ...
No, it don't. Probably found it on a cheap flea market. And bought it on eBay. So, I'm taking this is probably not the same Shinobi as Sega's Shinobi. Unless Tecmo and Shinobi have a good relationship with each other.
It wasn't just defeated the demon was not dead! She gave me combined the evil power of the demon, and the body of the demon was confined in temple. This wouldn't be the shadows that you're there for.
Well, I can't cry.
What the? Damn you!
And the insanity continues. Well, oh no, not those things. Those panthers. Then you've got those things just haunt you. And now you're getting the birds. This is an introduction. This is when this game really begins to start to grind on you. And basically what's going on is you gotta basically just keep moving to the right as fast as possible. You cannot, I'm being honest, you can't just, your natural thought and instinct here is to, your natural thought and instinct is to stab and chop and just get rid of what's on the screen before moving forward. No, that's not the way it works. That doesn't work that way. Because even if you move like 1 footstep to the left or right, the respawn rate on this game is legendary. It's legendary. So, you know, I would love to see someone who, really claims to be like a master of this game. I'd just love to see. It would just be so entertaining to actually watch somebody, be able to duck this shit, not get hit by these birds, not, to deal with that asshole right there throwing swords, or, I don't know if they're swords or crosses or sticks, but he's an asshole. He's really annoying. And that's the problem too, is you screw up so much. You screw up so much because you're just being stalked by these things. Oh, the agitation. And it's like this game to me. It's like, and I'm sure that that's why some people have wanted to put it on a shit list, because it is hard. It is very difficult. But I'm telling you, back at one point in time, this game was elite. This game was extremely elite, and it was no fucking around with this game. And those birds don't fuck around either. They want to rape your ass. Also, to let it be known, originally I had thought about making a DVD out of this. I've actually now thought about just simply putting this on Blip TV and making it very exclusive to that. So Frater vs. Marathon will be exclusive to Blip TV, and Frater vs. Retro, it will be on Blip TV and YouTube. Blip TV, you know, it's advertising. I mean, the profits you can make from the ads and stuff. I mean, you can actually make, you know, if people are subscribing and people are clicking on stuff, you can actually make some money. And some people, you know, they all scream bloody murder at that. I don't care, you have to make a living. And, you know, you want to bag groceries for the rest of your life. You want to... Many jobs are dictatorships. And why not make a living doing what you like, reviewing these kind of games? Why not? So Blip TV offers something that basically, I mean, with YouTube, you're getting the audience. I mean, that's the one thing. It's a trade-off. With YouTube, you have to fight for a thing called partnership, and it is much harder. And I hope to get it, but shit, you know. I mean, I think the first struggle is just to get 10 subscribers, let alone having to even worry about that shit. I mean, there's some people like Leisure Suit Rob who, you know, they still don't got it, even though they have thousands of viewers. It still doesn't matter. I think it's a little bit political too. You know, that get a partnership, that you really gotta be dumbed down for this to work. I mean, like, look at Shane Dawson and stuff like that. The stuff is really dumbed down. And like Shane Dawson, you know, to be honest, I mean, the stuff is pretty much Entertainment Tonight. It's that dumbed down. If you ever watched ABC and CBS, they always have this Entertainment Tonight, and they have these sort of dumbed down celebrityism type shows. That is basically where YouTube is going with just how it's how, you know, its selection of partners. You know, that it's, I mean, yeah, some people make some unique stuff, but then you got some of these people are just, they're just whores, and they just admit it. But this is going to be uploaded in time to Blip TV. And those guys with the bazookas right there. It's not even bazookas or something, some kind of shotgun, machine gun or something, but they are just unmerciful. Totally unmerciful. This level, I mean, it gets to the point, you know, when I originally wanted to do these things, I didn't want to do save states. I didn't want to do save states because I just thought, you know, that it wasn't being unique to, you know, the way these games would have been played back in the day. I mean, back in the day, you didn't have save states. You either made it through a level on, you know, 1, 2, 3 lives, or you shut the system off. It's game over. But, you know, when you're trying to do a playthrough and you're trying to review and do things like that, sometimes you just give in. Because it's so much better to just, you know, give in to that. Just show progress. And I do my best on this game. I mean, I really do try my best. As far as Frater SH versus Marathon games to be chosen, this is not something that's going to happen every week. It's definitely not something to be used. This part people have complained about. It's pretty bad. Oh, right there I locked out. Usually most of the time that guy does not move, so you really gotta like either jump right in front of him. But this boss, oh my god, this guy, he sucks. He's just so annoying, and these bullets. These fucking bullets. They're totally random. They're totally random in that, like, I'll show you. See, I do like that. See, I got both of them, so they didn't end up hitting me. There, I got it again. Not doing anything different. There. See, that's stupid. That makes no sense. How did the targeting, system work on that? Like, I got both those bullets. There, see, I got it right, there's no change, no nothing, it's just swatting it there, and I miss. So what that means is, it's just like a glitch or something, where it's just like, it either works or don't work, My god, this level, man. This level, it took so fucking long. I mean, there was a part of me actually wondered, would I even fucking get past this asshole? I mean, it's jumping up, down. These annoying ass bullets. And the thing is, it's sad is, I actually almost wanted to go back to an old. I wanted to actually go back to the actual level. Actually, go back to an old save state of the other level, just because I was becoming so fucking bored playing against this guy. Like, he's just so cheap and so. What the fuck just hit me? He's just becoming. See, that's the thing is with Ninja Gaiden. If you get pissed, that's it. You just start fucking up because you're angry. There, see, you just start losing it. You just start losing out here. And I'm sure there's someone can say, "Oh, there's some kind of pattern." Well, I'm sorry to say, you still got to deal with the bullets. Not really. It's just. There's maybe like one boss, maybe one or two that, yeah, there is like a strategy, but for the most, see, what the fuck? I ducked, and I should have took out that lower bullet, should taken out the middle one maybe, but no, I take a complete hit, and it's so fucking stupid. And that's why this game at times gets a reputation. I was really surprised, a few years, it was like not even more than like maybe 4 years. And learning, well, people think this game sucks ass. They think it's just as bad as an LJN game. And I'm like thinking to myself, holy shit, man, people loved this game back then. This game was just like with Contra. It was with Contra. It wasn't fucking like that, And yeah, people thought it was a bad game or something, I mean, I realize it's not Oblivion, but still. still, it's like a game to challenge yourself at, because you will fail. So it's one of those games that brings you humility, because you know, and it's so rewarding just to jump at playing this game, because it's just like, you know, it is such a fucking huge challenge. Now with the Marathon series, I'm planning on basically, it's really unknown what, you know, I'm going to do so far, because I actually will admit to you, the game I have in mind next is probably considered the worst game ever made. I still don't know how I'm going to do that. I may very well, I'm not even sure, it may very well be a Frater versus Marathon, but it will be DVD only. It won't even be on Blood TV. Sort of with the idea that this thing is like really that special to me. And even though others have reviewed this game, I know some will say, what is it, Ghostbusters. That's a problem, you know, when I do this narration, like right after work, my brain is just mush. I'm just tired. So, you know, I won't even say what the game is, and it's not Ghostbusters. But I will tell you that I want to do Ghostbusters. You know, it's not right now. I've got, let's just say, you know, as far as the normal scripted 10-minute review show, that there's enough for at least 7 episodes before him to decide on something. So, you know, Ghostbusters, you know, I want to do something with that eventually, because I felt that to this day that is probably like one of the worst games I ever played in my childhood. I actually feel that I was cheated. I actually feel that. See, the selection process with the games I do, there are some people that just want to be the angry video game nerd. They just want to be AVGN, so they try to select a lot of games that he would pick. I try to select the games that affected me at that age. There may be some different considerations, you know, and sometimes, you know, like for example, with like when I did the pilot episode of my show, Kung Fu, when I did Kung Fu, and yet what you have to understand is Kung Fu is a classic game to me. But you know, when I do this show, sometimes, you know, I may pick games, you know, that are quite frankly awful. But then at times, you know, I may pick a game that, you know, maybe there's some comedy that can be done to it, but you know, I do actually like it. I mean, in time there will be a Ghosts and Goblins review, and believe it or not, I actually like Ghosts and Goblins, even though the truth is, the game kind of sucks, you know, in the way that it's just, you know, too brutal for console gamers. That it was really built for, you know, just arcade, and they never, you know, Capcom was very cheap, you know, especially, you know, trying to port these games over to the Nintendo. They just got so cheap, they just didn't think of, you know, at least changing some of the things, you know, so that, you know, that this game would actually, you know, work well for a console player. This guy is so brutal. And the thing is, like, with some of these bosses, I mean, like, for example, the first two are easy, but then this guy, you know, starts the chain of just bosses being so brutally stupid. this guy is hard. He is hard, and that's the thing is, if you in the level that basically leads to him is so brutal. It's so fucking brutal. It's not even funny. He always ends up losing like a shitload of health, you know, and you're kind of like shit out of luck. You can't. And that's the thing is with this, man. It's just like those stupid fucking bullets. I'm sure you know, like, someone would wonder, like, why wouldn't I script, you know, this thing, you know, just like I would, you know, my normal episodes I have on YouTube. What you have to understand is, you know, the scripted stuff is done for a reason. Number one is, if I improvised all this shit, you know, it wouldn't be that good, you know, because sometimes on the run, sometimes you can make up neat stuff, but you would be amazed at the missed opportunities. Oh, wait, voice acting.
After getting back,
Oh, I missed that part.
Dr. Smith! Rio, the lightning statue was naked.
The light statue.
Yeah, your mother and I, we each kept one of the statues. Just in case. So the two statues never became one. The demons especially for 700 years, and now it's starting to wake up. What do we do? Get it back. There's no choice. You gotta be up the Ninja Dragon.
Dr. Smith! Dr. Smith!
Huh? The Blues Brothers! Ninja.
Welcome, real Hayabusa. Sorry if I startled you. We're from the CIA Special Auxiliary Unit. My name's Frater. Getting right to the point. Wait. I wanna know who killed Smith. We didn't kill him. We fill you in on what we know. Yeah, pretty the outside, something ruined. We're the scared. It seems a temple was built more than 2,000 years ago. He discovered Dr. Smith studying the ruins for some time. But one day he sealed off the ruins. And ever since then, no one has gone close. Later, a man moved in and took over the ruins. His name was Gregory Peck. He calls himself Gregory Peck. According to our records, it seems that the temple is where the gods were worshipped, but was built to imprison the body of Gregory Peck. Therefore, evil spirits support the oldest statue you have. Dr. Smith already knew that. He was probably murdered by someone working for Gregory Peck.
Okay.
When a black giant Latin dog breaks apart the King of Darkness house, This was the last words written on the stone tablet. If Thomas brings the demon back to life, he will regain incredible power, enough to control the whole entire Ohio. So you know about that. The woman you shot in the bar was one of your agents. They are after you. Use these, go to their headquarters, get the demon statue back from them for what you know. Of course you will be paid for the work.
If I say no?
You know the answer to that. Have a good day. Use Irish Spring. I can fly. Yes. Land. No.
Okay. I've got to kind of admit, you know, like, I've always been very good at, like, doing different kind of characters and stuff. I should probably, in the next selection, oh great, in the next selections of this next selection of games, to definitely try to choose stuff with a lot of voiceovers, because, you know, it adds a lot more comedy. Because a lot of times, you know, you're just watching this, and you know, I mean, you could scream and yell and go, fuck, fuck, stop throwing those fucking things at me, fuck, stop it, stop it. I mean, you could do that. You could do that. I mean, you can. You know, it's a frustrating game. But voice acting is great. I mean, some of the best stuff, and you don't even notice people who get watched the most on Justin TV. It's because I assume they're probably doing voice acting, and then it does work. It does actually draw people because it's funny. People love voice acting. The sad thing about Ninja Gaiden is it's usually bad. Usually to get there, you gotta go through hell to get to the voice acting. You have to understand the pleasure of actually destroying a boss, because that means you get rewarded with voice acting. You have to have voice acting. I mean, everyone's so used to an actor in all these games now. They're just used to it. They just don't, they're not used to actually physically reading something. So, alright, I tried to do the best I can. That was a very strange thing I did back there. It just shows, like, what happens when I'm improvising. It's different when, you know, it's scripted. I can kind of think things over, like, how am I going to do this voice? That guy, I was originally going to try to do something like a Space 1999 British voice, and it didn't turn out that way. It just turned into a crazy Scottish guy. It just, like, you know, I don't, fuck, I guess, my tongue inside my mouth, and then just turned into to a Scottish accent. Just if I want to do more voiceovers, I probably need to think about doing Final Fantasy 1. Oh, come on. That's just insane. Oh, yeah. I'm up that ladder. That's the thing, is a lot of times, you know, just improvising. There's just not a lot of comedy. Come on! This section again. And this thing is about this game, is that there are so many. You can get knocked back. You can you can actually get, you know how you can climb onto walls and stick like that. You actually can get stuck in that position. If someone knocks into you, you can actually get stuck on the wall and take, you know, free hits. And any time, they don't allow any time for invincibility after you get hit. Okay. This be a voiceover?
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. David, I've never seen such beautiful, beautiful castle. Oh my god.
Oh, now we're in Ghostbusters 2. Man, I thought and I thought that the villains from Kung Fu had it bad, you know, just running at you with their arms flailing. I like to be the guy who just goes, you know, he just swings real slowly like that, up and down, up and down. It's probably suicidal. He's just like, just end it, just end it. Don't worry, you're probably not gonna take a hit from me. I'm not even taking this seriously. This ninja, man, he's pretty fucking neat. Oh, green ninja running. The birds change color. Holy fuck. They actually change colors. They're still annoying as usual. Programmed to rape your mind, even worse. Thank you, ma'am. I'll have more of that. And the thing is, just watching this, it's just painful. It's just painful because I can tell you, you know, this narration has obviously been recorded separately, but I'm gonna tell you this. When I decided, yes, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna actually record this and do this, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this game is just so brutal. I mean, I was cursing and swearing. That guy right there, I don't know what it is. That guy just pisses me off. I lose so much health to him. He fucks things up for me. In some of his stuff, I don't know what it is. He's just fucking unavoidable. Yeah, this respawn rate. And then the bullets. Oh, he actually killed me. Fucker. That's funny. Oh, that's a big up about Ninja Gaiden. About Ninja Gaiden, I absolutely love is it just fucks you up. You know, it's kind of like I want to be the guy. It just does some bad shit to your head. It drives you insane. It even gets to the point where a simple pitfall where, you know, you should never die to it, but it's just like Ninja Gaiden. It's Ninja Gaiden, it's different. It's just that you become so frustrated by everything hitting you. And that's the things you have, like no invincibility when you're getting hit. So you get hit. I think what it is, it's like not even a half second you have invincibility. Now this guy right here, this guy is going to get really irritating really quickly, because he's always accompanied by tons, tons of his other kinds. I don't know what they are supposed to be, where they're like serpents / cannons, but whatever it is, it's just painful. It's just bad. Of course, I know the question you're going to ask yourself. Will I do a marathon of Batman for the Nintendo? And I'll tell you, if I'm willing to do this, I don't go all the way though. I do warn you, I do not finish this game. I only go to maybe like the third part of the last level, which is pretty close. I'm getting there, but I just gave up because I couldn't go any further. I could not go any further. I will probably do a marathon of the NES Batman. And that's another hard game. That is brutal, to say the least. I mean, if you think this is hard, Batman can be pretty hard too. Although I don't know, to be absolutely honest with you, there's still a part of me that thinks Ninja Gaiden's harder. It's just because it's just so vicious. And we return. Ninja Gaiden. It's sometimes I do wish it was a bit more, a little less spastic. So you can have a little more control of things. But that's the way it is. That guy up ahead, he looks just like Jason Voorhees. It reminds me when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to go up to my neighbor's house, and when I was like 10 years old or something, and it was back in the late 80s, and we used to watch all the Friday the 13th films and stuff, and it was really classic, And it was always interesting to see how Jason, what kind of methods Jason would use to take somebody out, I think the weed whacker was the best, in my personal opinion. Now we're going another go at this boss. This boss, unlike the other bosses, there's a very easy method to take on this boss. I don't find out right away because I had never played this boss before. But actually, unlike the others, there is actually a safe spot, but you really gotta keep make sure you don't lose, because you run out of time. And that's what happened to me here. So I actually ran out of time. I just wasn't paying attention. So you can't. You could stay there, but But right now, it took a little bit of trial and error to find it. Just figure out what these guys do. And if you actually notice, they, where I'm underneath that platform right there, they rarely ever jump and land right underneath it. Right there is one dive they can do. They can land them. They can land them right there. But for the most part, they just don't go that way. Of course, in our last episode, we found out that Ninja Gaiden's real foe, that his real enemy behind wanting to take over the world, is Gregory Peck. And we find out that maybe in some details why maybe we'll find out why Gregory Peck wants to take over the world. Why? Was it possibly because on Memorial Day, Elmer's Tainted Horse Meat Snack-a-Shack of Crackton, Ohio was closed, and Gregory Peck became enraged by this? He was like,
Why is I'm Gregory Peck? Why is Elmer's Tainted Horse Meat Snack-a-Shack of Frater, Ohio closed? I'm going to slap a bitch.
and thus, afterwards, in anger, Gregory Peck took on Shinobi and handed Shinobi his ass. You don't want to piss Gregory Peck off. You may very well find out most NES bosses are just Gregory Peck. And he just got pissed off one day and he just said, you know, his favorite restaurant never closes on him. Period. Which is, unfortunately, as we'll probably find out, most days, Elmer's Tainted Horse Meat Snack-a-Shack is literally closed about 3 days. Usually only open 3 days a week, so Peck is usually pissed off most of the time. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out what next game I would like to do a marathon of. I got all kinds of ideas. You know, should it be like Icarus? Should it be Dragon? I'm still thinking. Might want to do something that requires more voiceovers. So yeah, I mean, but the only problem is I don't want to do something like Final Fantasy for the NES because it's just that would take forever. I mean, those games were long, you know. So you would have to probably clip it or something. You know. What are those little aliens sitting in the background? Like little xenophobes or something. Yeah, these two bosses, you can definitely tell that Tecmo was fans of Ghostbusters. Because these bosses right here really do remind me of Gozer's guard dogs. I can't. Gatekeeper and said the other day, I actually tried to play this stuff on Justin TV, and I'll tell you something. If you have bad bandwidth, you know, and you know, you just can't do much. Like I can show Mystery Science Theater. I actually think that runs okay, but for some reason, I'll tell you something. A Nintendo game, anything with Nintendo, anything with old games, if you have bad RAM and all that stuff, I mean, if you don't have like a good internet connection, I mean, I tell you, it feels unfair, you know. So, you know, I don't want to waste any kind of money on this computer, putting this thing to GTV. At least with Blip, you know, maybe I could have some ads or something. Maybe I can make some revenue from that. And I tell you, the quality from that is perfectly great. I think that's all I care about. As regards of what this should be on. I'm really been happy with Blip TV so far. YouTube, it's just, you know, I think that's just kind of a crapshoot, you know. It's more about like a few people finding your videos and then, you know, maybe if they subscribe or something. Even that's not guaranteed. I mean, you could have 1,000 people check out your video. Maybe 1 or 2 might subscribe. Right here, I start to figure it out. That basically underneath that, right there, they really can't jump on top of you right there. See, there's a pattern. That's the one thing about the other bosses is that, like, maybe there's like some pattern to them, but you usually still take lots of hits. And usually what it is it's like a race to kill them before they kill you. You're taking hits, you're getting your ass beat, but you've got to beat him first. It's like a race. And this boss, I love this boss the best because, you know, this thing actually has a. Now the next boss that's after this, when I did this run, there is no safe spot. You got to go up to him and just start slashing while he is tearing the crap out of you, because it's just a race. And that's the way it is with Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden, it's just acceptance. You have to have an acceptance that, you know, yeah, here we go.
There you go, Rock. You have a long way to go. I'm very perk.
No!
I saw what you did and... What?
You!
I got your bitch.
You coward. No! Give it to him!
Put the other David stacks on the floor, you little asshole! Nice work, prick! Goodbye! Have a nice day.
Ah! Ah!
Took the go away. He's going to be a sacrifice. Ah! Ah! Tonight is the rebirth of Tiger Horse Meat that will come back to the world. Great car.
Act 5. Let's okay. Let's have a contest. Let's have a contest to see how much stuff we can fill the sky with, because this is what it's gonna be turning out to be. Pumpkinhead. Remember those films? It's funny. Jason Voorhees is in this. Oh, that little green ninja dude. He's awesome. Oh man. And you thought your ass got raped with the normal Ninja Gaiden guys. They brought in the Hunchback from Castlevania 3. Oh man. And watch that little fucker. Man, he just he followed you on the other platforms. I mean, that's brutal. That's just unforgiving. See right there? That's kind of what I was talking about in earlier clips. Is if there's a wall right behind you. Oh god. More of those hawks. Oh god. See a lot. Fell right through the platform. See. Oh god, there's so much stuff coming at you. I mean, there's so much to add about this, and it's just like, ugh. And then if you move even a little bit to the left, bam, respawn. See, he follows you right onto those platforms. You really gotta watch yourself like that. It's a good thing they give you infinite continues, because, jeez. I mean, you wouldn't even probably have made it this far if you had it. But the point I was trying to say is if you're too close to a wall and a guy jumps up against you, you stick to the wall. So what ends up happening is that you'll take extra hits. It's difficult. It's very hard. I mean, okay, right here. Oh, that guy. That guy right there. He's hard. He makes some of the earlier bosses look easy. There is a point coming up where you're gonna find an area, you know, like let's say you jump down from a cliff like there. You're gonna find him like sitting right there by the entrance, and let's just say I die a lot. I mean, I die a lot, and there's a point where, you know, like I said before, you know, I get so frustrated that I actually, sometimes I feel like I'm just dragging Ryu, you know, Ninja Gaiden's corpse just into the door. You know, he's got 0 health points, but I feel like, well, his corpse made it to the door. Can you just give it to me? This is a hard game. You gotta give me just maybe a little slack. Oh, yeah, oh wait, okay. I thought that little hunchback wasn't gonna he was gonna show up. Oh, there he is. And he killed me on time. I'm sure people are wondering when I'll do like something with Action 52. I wanted to do a movie on Action 52. I wanted to make it a DVD or something, but I'm starting to figure out getting into the whole idea of just making stuff for Blip TV. I seem to be getting views from that. I want to make that special though, you know. Like I want to get a webcam so I can show off, because I do have the physical Action 52. See, that's the thing is when I do these reviews, people know as well that you're using an emulator. That's true, but you have to understand by law it says as long as you have the physical game that this is considered a backup. Well, that's exactly what I have. I actually do go to some length, and I do spend some money to get some of these games. I have the hard copy of Ninja Gaiden in a gym bag I have, where I store some of my raw NES games. Then I just have a bunch of games that are complete. Like I have Bible Adventures complete. And I'll tell you something, you know, as an NES reviewer, sometimes you really gotta find the games complete. You know, as snobby as it sounds. You know, I know with a lot of reviewers, they usually just get the core game, you know, and you can't blame them. You know, it's, you know, they're trying to, you know, it's less money, or sometimes they just get donations. They get, you know, games from fans and stuff, and that's fine. But but the thing is, sometimes you miss certain details about what the game developers say about their game that adds a whole new level of comedy to these reviews. Like when AVGN did Bible Adventures, he had the complete box and game and stuff. You'd find out that on the back of the manual is there's actually, looking at the time, I won't say it now, I'll say the next clip. But there could have been more added to that review if it only had the complete game, because it really gets funny. See, the thing you have to understand about Bible Adventures is that the people who made it, you know, they basically just did it because it was just a business proposition. Like some guy just went to them, you know, convinced them that making Bible games would be very profitable, but they took it as hilarious. They did. They took it as more of a parody. They thought it was a hilarious idea. So, you know, like, if you wonder, like, for example, why do you have Bible Buffet with Candyland and stuff like that? It's basically just a clusterfuck, basically. I don't think they took it very seriously. And you see the way those games are, it's kind of, you know, you're one or two things, basically. You know, you either have a sense of humor or you know there's something wrong with you to make those games. But they were basically failing at everything else with the NES, you know. So okay, in the next clip, I'm gonna discuss what else could have been added to that Bible Adventures review, and we'll continue to see if Gregory Peck will triumph, or he'll just be very crippled from his world. Hunchbacks. That's that respawn rate I told you about. It's brutal. See? You're standing in one position, man. They just keep coming until you gotta keep going forward. You're screwed. And like I was saying about Bible Adventures, and I die, about Bible Adventures for the Nintendo. In my last video, I was saying that, you know, about sometimes the importance to have the packaging and the manual and all that stuff is that you really get a deeper insight into the game maker, whether they be licensed or unlicensed. So, like, for example, you know, like Bible Adventures, what a lot of people don't know is very hilariously on the back of the manual there is a survey. Now, a lot of okay. I'm gonna hold on to that. This guy right here is, and what happened was I'm like down to 1 health. This is a very bad scenario right here. This is probably about as stupid as it gets. I should just accept defeat. But that's the problem. Once you get this far, you don't want to, you know, give up. You know. Oh God. Ugh. God. Okay. This right here is just brutal because basically the time, the actual time to jump down. See, like the time you jump down, there's about like a 90% chance of getting hit by that blade. Right there. Right there, see, right there they should have gave it to me. I dragged his corpse to the door. I dragged his corpse to the door. They should just gave that to me. There, again I made it. He's dead, but... Once again, you know, it's not much you can... It's not much you can do with 1 health at this point. You just go back to the beginning or whatever. Might as well, it's only 5-1. Stage 5-1. I'll talk about Bible Adventures once I get past this guy, because this part is just funny. Oh God, to make it worse, he looks like Silver Surfer. Close. Only problem was he was guarding the door. I can't remember what I did. I just did it. You know, I just got past this guy. I think what I might have done is I sort of drew him over towards the left, and then made sort of like a leap of faith towards the right, and made it into the door. It's funny because his corpse is like so in the door. But they're just like, nope, we gotta follow NES rules and we gotta have at least 1 health to get in that door. I don't make the price of admission here. Getting close. tell you something, I'm stubborn as hell. I mean, most people would just accept, well, I can't get past them with 1 health. I have to see if maybe I can get a little more health on a different run or something. Me? No! Load state, die, 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 load state. That's it! Well, I'm getting... I was gonna say I was being like Mr. Fancy Pants there or something. I know what Ralph Macchio would do in this position. I know what Crash Helmet Pete would do.
Crash Helmet Pete! I get hit by anything on the screen, I'm dead!
Yeah! There you go. So you have to get him to the far left of the screen. Man, that does it. Another thing I've noticed too, you know, like from the art clips I do, I know one thing you will notice is my audio is a little out of sync. That's the one thing with doing Audacity. You know, like for example, I'm watching this on Winamp while commentating, and it's usually a little off. For some reason, to me, it makes the voiceovers sound funny because they're so out of sync and so weird. I don't know. I don't care. It works, whatever, you know. But, but back to what I was saying about Bible Adventures for the Nintendo. I had to just stop and talk about that section because, you know, it was just hilarious. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Got enough ninjas on the screen. That's like ninja heaven right there. But, you know, like I was saying before about Bible Buffet for the Nintendo. Is that, on the back of the manual, there's a survey. And one of the things it asks you is this game biblically accurate? It says that. Is this game biblically accurate? I don't remember in the Bible, and anyone who looks at my lectures and my books and stuff can see, you know, I pretty well studied in the Bible, and tell you, I don't remember Noah picking up oxes and dragging them to the ark. I don't remember Moses' mother holding him the whole time above her head while people with spears are trying to kill him. Oh, this game is getting harder now. When you get to this part, the game is just determined to kill you. It's really amazing, you know, that Tecmo didn't try to make, you know, try to take this to the arcades, because this would have made a lot of money. They made, like, a Ninja Gaiden arcade game. I don't know, I didn't do the homework to see if that was before or after the, you know, the NES Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, it's basically kind of like Final Fight, in a way. I'm not kidding. And it's been a long time. I mean, the last time I played that game was in a grocery store when I was a kid. I'm not kidding you. And Jason Voorhees returns. And I haven't played that in a long time. I could get the ROM. I mean, I could get the ROM, and I probably could even have like the last clip to show what the game looks like. But I probably won't. After doing this, I think I would like to stick with the NES version. I highly doubt, you know, there's people who actually prefer the arcade game over the Nintendo game. That's kind of blasphemy. Like I said, you know, the game is a bit like it's more like Final Fight, and it's kind of a atrocity in a way, because it's just, you know, that's not what Ninja Gaiden the way most people think of Ninja Gaiden. They think of this. It is very possible, you know, that that game was first before this came out to the Nintendo. That this was an actual... They didn't, you know, they didn't know how to... didn't have the graphics and stuff like that to actually, you know, drag the thing physically to that system. One of the things you'll notice too when I'm playing this is that after a while, I just stopped caring about, you know, trying to not get hit. I literally become almost sadomasochist in a way when it comes to this game. Because it's inevitable. You're gonna get hit by something. There's just tons of shit flying around on the screen. And we return. So the one thing I didn't like I did on this marathon, and I admit this because when I did this, it takes up a lot of MB to, you know, the more lengthy it is, the bigger the file it is, movie file it is. So what I did was I cut things down to like 10. I don't know why I did it, you know, like from like 10 minutes, 12 minutes to 18 minutes. Some things are much bigger than others because I just thought, you know, if I upload this for a DVD, that you know, I want it to be small because with Lulu Publishing, a publishing company that it's a print and press company, and they've made my books and my lecture DVDs. That you know, one of the last things I want to do is, you know, have this thing be like a gigabyte in you know, in length, and be like a gigabyte in length, and basically its uploader crashes a lot, so you want to make it as simple as possible. So like, for example, you know, this clip right here is 10 minutes, so I have to kind of keep track of what I was doing. Last time I was commentating, I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't notice that probably what I'll do next time, because I really honestly don't think, you know, when I started these clips I said about a DVD and all that stuff. I don't know. I think that it's just, I don't know, it's sounding silly now. So I might just keep this on Blip TV. I like the idea of doing an Action 52 movie DVD. I actually like that idea much more because, you know, Action 52 to me, you know, I'll definitely tell you this, it is the action #1 of video games. But you have to understand video games is different than comic books. In comic books, the most popular comic book, first appearance of the most popular comic book character, is, you know, it warrants a big price. It does. And, for example, the worst comic book character in the worst comic book series warrants almost nothing. I mean, you can go down to a local shop that keeps track. You know, it actually tracks comics pretty good. It even keeps this shit in stock, and it's shit, and it's not really worth anything. I mean, sadly, although I think maybe it's gone up in price by now, is the old Chuck Norris comics. I actually got one of those. I found one of those like some years ago in a comic book shop, and yeah, they were having a hard time trying to keep them in stock. But the point is that with video games it's different. Like, you know, I had this thing going in my head, and I really wanted to talk about it. What is considered rare and collectible? A lot of times, what's considered rare and collectible in video games is the opposite of comic books. It is not the popular character. It is literally some kind of game that, you know, the companies didn't give a shit about. You know, like, for example, the highest priced game is a complete version of Stadium Events. Stadium Events was, it's basically World Track and Meet. under a different name. They must have decided, well, you know, this name is too, it's just not really, you know, it doesn't have any kind of, like, it's not an exciting name, it doesn't really sell a product good enough. What is my problem jumping off that platform? That's the problem with Ninja Gaiden. Sometimes it just makes you retarded after a while, because you're getting overwhelmed by so many things, and those things are just respawning at such a fast rate that you just start jumping off platforms like a fucking retard. Let's see if I do it again. Nope. I have to take out Karnov here. Does anyone remember Karnov? Oh no, not these guys. What you're seeing on your screen now is nothing short of annoying. These guys basically fill the air with ninja shurikens. All these shooting stars are just filling the sky. And then you got this guy, and then you got, oh man, see, that's the kind of stuff I was talking about earlier. It's just, these guys are nightmarish. I mean, you gotta run. I mean, you have gotta run, because a lot of this stuff is not very avoidable. So you just gotta run like hell. So like I was saying, you know, with comic books, like I'll give you an example. Let's say if you have action number 1, then that's considered the highest landmark in comic books. Detective 27, Amazing Fantasy number 15. I mean, my local comic book shop is, you know, well, I used to go to it. I don't like the owner. They actually had Detective 27. And it made it in the news. But like I was saying again, somehow with video games, because of the availability of games, you know, like for example, you know, Super Mario Bros. 3 has been pretty much declared by the internet as the most important Nintendo game ever. That it is the best Nintendo game ever. I mean, you know, and oh god, these bats! This area right here is just killer. Oh my god, spawn rate. But you know, like for example, Super Mario, with a lot of the popular Nintendo games, is that they were produced in high numbers, and they can be found. I mean, you want a complete version of Super Mario Bros. Super Mario 3, you can find it. I mean, you can find it on eBay. If, let's say you want a good copy, you can maybe pay what that game was in retail. I mean, maybe at the highest, maybe $50, but that's still nothing compared to, you know, like, those really big titles like Stadium Events, the top NES games to collect, what are considered as holy grails, as they call them. Oh, by the way, you know, I might as well say this now. Like, everyone says, what is the holy grail? Where is the holy grail? Well, in my studies before I got into games and stuff like that, you know, why did I just do that? See, this is one of those things with this game, is this game kind of makes you retarded sometimes. You're just getting chased by so much on the screen that you just become retarded. Now, like I was saying about the Holy Grail, a lot of people wonder what the Holy Grail is. I actually found this out about maybe 3 years ago. And what it is, you know, if you're watching this, you're gonna start laughing. It's a woman's vagina. The Holy Grail is a woman's vagina. And what you have to understand is, at one point in time, people didn't understand that you know, when a woman has her period, that, you know, they thought that was something magical. They thought that was sacred, because normally if people bleed, it's because they have had a wound inflicted. You know, so they're dying. I mean, people just normally just don't bleed, and yet they bleed, but then nothing bad happens. So they called it moon blood, crimson blood. So, you know, when a woman had her period, that was considered like extremely sacred. And, you know, a woman's vagina, in, like, for example, the highest orders of masonry, at least what they used to know, that actually is one of their secrets, is, you know, you know, it's the lust for the vagina, that it was considered the Holy Grail, and you'll find a lot of, when you really try to go deep, and, well, I'm out of time right now. I'll continue this in the next video, but this is gonna get interesting, and that's the thing, is when I'm doing a marathon like this, I just run at the mouth. Just run at the mouth, anything that comes to mind, bam. And we return. In the last clip I was mentioning the Holy Grail, because I was talking about rare NES games, and I was going to tell you about, you know, what, you know, kind of go off on a rant about that stuff. I mentioned the words Holy Grail. Well, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. The Holy Grail in secret societies and many things that I've studied is in fact the female vagina. That, you know, most people, you know, you would say, well, why? Why is it considered the Holy Grail? Well, you think about it, what is life-giving? You know, what is considered life-giving in life? Especially if you think of ancient times, well, it would have been the woman's vagina. Because, you know, it's going to increase her population. It was very sacred to people. You have to understand, another thing I learned too, and this is, so that's the one thing between me and different game reviewers, is that I got this background and this most bizarre occult stuff that I studied before I even decided to do game reviews. Doing game reviews, it's kind of like almost like I kind of retired from that occult, esoteric stuff I used to talk about on my shows and lectures. I even went on radio 3 times with different shows and stuff to talk about my views and things. And see, you have to understand, like with religion, is that it is, you know, at one point in time everyone thought that basically God or spirits or angels controlled everything we see in the sky. Like, in fact, when you hear people mention heaven, it means the sky. If you actually study the old ancient language, I'm not good. I know someone's gonna say you're bashing religion. No. I'm not bashing religion. I'm talking about the more deeper inner sanctum of it. You know, and I'm not gonna bash Jesus. Not gonna do that stuff. What I'm talking about is, you know, they worship the stars. They thought that when they saw things happening in the sky, that was a big deal. You know, when they saw, you know, over the thousands of years, maybe they might have saw a supernova in the distance. They saw something that was different. They made mention of it, and sometimes to them that could have been gods battling in the sky, because you have no scientific reference. Although the Sumerians pretty much had the idea. They pretty much kind of figured it out that there's something, you know, non-deity about all this, but as far as, you know, our Semitic Judeo-Christian type roots, there is a lot worship of the sky, worship of the stars, the moon, and stuff. But you really gotta go deep to find this stuff. You know, you're not gonna find it in church. You're not, you know, it's just not gonna have that kind of knowledge because there's a difference between something that's symbolic and the difference between something that's literal. You go to church, you get a literal view. If you worship, if you study the words, that's when you start to find stuff that deals with astrology and stuff. And there's a lot of different Bible passages that deal with that. So when we're talking about the Holy Grail, when we're talking about the churches and things like that, we're talking about the celebration of the seasons. You know, we didn't have the sun, we'd be dead. So there's nothing wrong with religions. When they start blowing each other up, there's something wrong with that. But you know, with celebration of the seasons, you know, I mean, it's, you know, we have a good harvest. That's good. Nothing to complain about. But with like with churches, especially the older churches with their designs and stuff, they have this. You always notice these arches, these beautiful arches, especially where the entrance is. Well, I learned through a class I had that basically what that means is those arches represent the female vagina. That when you're walking in to a church, that is walking through the female vagina. This stuff I'm saying right now is so controversial. I'm sure there's people going, just go back to Gregory Peck, would you please? This stuff is too deep. We're expecting Ninja Gaiden, not this. But, you know, I'm dealing with basically like a 4-hour series, so I gotta talk about something. I can't just go, oh, this guy was tough. Oh, this guy was tough. Oh, this guy was tough. But, you know, like I was saying, usually it's a celebration of the seasons.
Alright, Muff, you never get past me.
Then I must defeat you.
Me crabhead, me pinch your balls. You pinch dirty balls,
Huh?
I'm crabhead. Me young Hayabusa. I pinch balls.
This guy, you just no strategy. You just run at him and you just stab him. You just start stabbing. That's it. Okay. Mouth. My name is Mouth. I'm gonna start watching the Goonies here. I saw Goonies in the theater when I was a little kid. That was like one of my first movies. I tell you, you people, you're missing something if you didn't grow up in the 80s. It's different. It was different, you know. Things were a little less complicated. But a lot of stuff was starting to begin, you know, you were starting to see cell phones, you know, happening. A lot of the stuff you see today really was starting to just being born in the 80s. I absolutely loved the 80s, really. I still do. I always wonder, you know, what I would do if I lived in the 80s. If I time traveled. I would like to make, someday as a project, if you people like this stuff, you know, understand, I do want to make an actual game company. I would like to make free roam games, and one of my ideas is to make a free roam game based on different timelines, you know, and, you know, there would be quests, there could be things you can do, but I believe in a free roam game where you can do anything. It probably would have to be a PC game, because I mean, to be honest, I would have nudity. I mean, sex can happen in real life. You go to a club, you meet a girl you like, guess what? You know, same thing with your character in game. If he goes to a club and he meets a girl you like, guess what? But, like, I want to close the other topic. I just want to stop and say was that religion is, at its base level, is usually a celebration of the seasons, a celebration of the fact that we have a sun in the sky keeps us warm, some kind of explanation why the sun goes away and we have winter. Why do those things happen? So usually what happens is the Messiah dies, but then he comes back and everything's good again. And it's also about about women, about the fact that that without them, again, no life on the earth. So that's the simple things. Then I'm gonna go back to talk about the NES games I was talking about rare NES games in the next clip. But this guy, like I was saying before, you just run in and start stabbing. Oh, I think I might be able to do some voiceovers right now. You killed my father.
Kid? It's true that we fought each other. Except I didn't have this big, huge, fat fucking head. I don't know what happened. My doctor said, I had this, like, a pimple, and I started to, like, itch it.
What?
And I started to itch it, and I could have it, and my head got big. Head get big and fat, big and fat.
Okay, next clip. More to come. And like I was saying in the last clip, about NES games. I was talking about the holy grail of NES games versus comic books. That's what I was originally talking about before I got off on a tangent about about occult wisdom and stuff like that. But sometimes I can't help myself. I remember once, and you'll notice that I segue out of things too much. I was talking to this guy. I remember I knew this guy at work. And he's saying, there was this one girl I had kind of a crush on, and he's saying, now what the hell are you gonna talk about with her? If you go on a date with her, like, don't talk about the Bilderbergers and all that stuff. And so I was like, I was trying to, like, sort of reenact what I would talk about with her, and and it's funny, like how we talk about. So. No, you don't talk about the Bilderbergers. You talk about building a burger. Going to Sheets and building a burger. Oh man, I miss that guy. He had he fought Captain Crunch. Had a scheme to rule the world. Oh, did you see that? This is the downside of using load save states. Since you just screw her up and load a former save state. It's alright. That guy, you just run in and you just start stabbing him to death. But the whole point I was trying to say was that sometimes I can't help myself. There's like something I say and it's nice to start talking about occult wisdom and whatever. It was a passion for me for many years until I just decided, I've been playing games since I was, my first video game I ever played was Star Wars the arcade game. So when I was like 4 years old, that used to be my top favorite game. What's sad, sad about that game? I keep segueing myself. Keep going into all these different topics about Star Wars the arcade game is that you really need to, I'm sure there's some people who made custom yokes, like controllers for that, but you really need to have the original controller. I'm not joking. I mean, you can have the ROM, and the ROM is beautiful on a nice big screen. Nice LCD screen. Looks so good. The only problem is it controls like shit. You know, if you have like a main controller, you know, I have like an arcade rig, because, you know, when I play the original arcade games, although to be honest, lately I've been playing with an N64 controller, and I've been liking that, but you really need to have, not all these games are just playable with just any kind of controller. You know, they were never built for this kind of play whatsoever. They were just built for these customized rigs, you know. But like I was saying about the holy grail of NES games versus, you know, comic books. You know, like, for example, you have I mean, Superman is considered pretty much, you know, I don't know, like Spider-Man and Batman, to be an iconic character. Well, you would think, well, Mario's an iconic character. Why isn't Super Mario Bros. 3 like $1,000? Why is Action 52 going for like $300 on eBay? And it's because of rarity. And I think over time too, what's happening is the really bad games are, you know, the really bad games are worth so much money, because, you know, especially when with all these retro game reviewers like AVGN, you know, in the early days there's RMake21, who now goes under Boxed Entertainment. You had Jim Bob. You have a lot of guys that have made, you know, these comedy parodies, tearing apart, you know, how some of these old games, they're just, you know, so easy to make fun of, but that has actually helped their collectability. The fact is, it's actually increased their price tag. So it is literally one of the opposite things, where, you know, you would think, well, you would want a game of praise would lead to a high price, and that's just not true. Because if that was true, that would mean Castlevania 3 would go for ungodly amounts of money, and it doesn't. I mean, usually there's like two types of games to me that are worth a shitload of money with Nintendo games, and it's that they're either unlicensed games, they're shitty, really shitty games, and people can't help to collect them because they just, you know, they watch AVGN and they just love to have a copy of that game. Or they're, you know, like the Nintendo World Championships cartridge, Nintendo World Championships. Games are like in really low amounts. Cheetah Men 2, which, I mean, that game in itself is, you know, what was the sequel to Action 52. I mean, there's not even a box for that thing. All it is an Action 52 card with a gold sticker on it that says Cheetah Men 2. On AVGN's newest video on Cheetah Men 2, which I tell you to go to Cinemassacre to check out. The game, they didn't even really finish it. It's just, I don't even know why they tried. They must have just said, fuck it, you know. Active Enterprises, I really want to do something about them. Just, you know, when I do my Action 52 movie, I just want to, you know, discuss their history, because it's just funny, because in a way with Active Enterprises is, I can see their ambition. Speaking from the devil's advocate, I can actually see their ambition, but they were such noobs in the business. They just had a bunch of college students program the games with no debugging. So they didn't know what they were doing, and they spent $5 million on Action 52. They had all these like oversea Arab princes, you know, invest in this stupid thing, and oh man. I gotta say with Tecmo, I mean, I give them a lot of credit when they make this game. I mean, look at this section right here. Think about this. This is pretty hard right here. I mean, basically what it comes down to it is you gotta take a hit from that leopard. He's on top of the platform, and he's gonna dive at you no matter what. You're gonna take a hit. So what happens is, why am I jumping? So that's the problem. The game makes you a little retarded after a while because everything on the screen is attacking you at once. Now look at this section here. Like I was saying. Now, if you're a lot of times with this game, where you luck out is if you find a glitch. If you find a glitch, the guy just disappears. There is an enemy in the last stage where you have to do this because you can't get by him. But like I was saying again about Action 52, it's about rare games. Shitty games like that are going to become the big money makers because AVGN is so popular. You see, you take a hit right there, and people get it. They go, shit. I kind of think I might want to own that game just for laughs. Oh god, this section right here is really hard. I don't know why I didn't save state. It's very difficult. So it's literally the games that you don't even think of. Although I will be honest with you, if you have like a mint copy of Mario Brothers, you remember the first game where Mario basically had his own title. It was originally an arcade game and stuff. But that game, if you have that basically mint, that game goes for a lot of money. I actually owned a mint copy of that title, and eventually I needed the money, so I sold it for like $75. And yeah, I mean, you find a game that's in practically mint shape, I mean, it's still going to go for a lot of money, even Super Mario 3. But the whole point I'm trying to make is, it's kind of crazy when you think about it, that it's the titles that you never even heard of are considered the Holy Grail. That it's, where in comic books, believe it or not, yeah, a major icon's first appearance. Nope. Next clip, more to talk about. So, like, talking again about rare games, like Nintendo games and stuff, that, you really would think, that icons and stuff would go for just as much money. And they really don't. That video game business is just different. Now, see, had back in the 80s, back when my generation first had these games. Now, had we been idiots and taken, quite literally, some kid gets Super Mario Brothers 2 for his birthday, had he taken that game after he beat it and thrown it away, and everyone else did the same thing except maybe a very select few, things would be very different. I would tell you, I would certainly hope my generation would have done that. Especially with all that money spent, because those games were expensive. Super Mario 3 went for a shitload, when it first came out. I mean, it was like $60, $70. I mean, Nintendo really was committing murder on that one, because they were just arrogant. They just said, guess what, we realize what you people pay for these games, and guess what, we'll do what we want. Unfortunately, there was enough backlash that they gave everyone a coupon. I can actually remember getting in the mail. Maybe it was because I was a member of Nintendo Power. I had a magazine subscription back then to Nintendo Power that basically basically gave you a coupon. I don't even remember how much it was. No, I actually think it was like only like $3 or something. They were cheap bastards, man. Like all the money they made. Although, you know, I'll tell you something. In later years, you know, I mean, I'll tell you something. Even Atari at one time was at this position where they were the biggest company in the world, and they died. And people, you know, I know sometimes people like to rip up the Wii. They like to say, well, it's retarded, and the Nintendo Wii. And I really want to tell those kind of people to please shut the fuck up, because, you know, at one point Nintendo, I knew like a few years ago, Nintendo was kind of at the brink of bankruptcy, and they were going to stop doing consoles. They were going to just do what Sega does. You know, just making games for Sony and Microsoft. So literally, you know, if things hadn't went the way they did, and they hadn't, you know, they hadn't had the portables and things like that, you know, we would be seeing Mario on Microsoft, on Xbox. As crazy as that is. But that could have happened. I remember that a few years ago, because they were having trouble with GameCube, and I don't think that their sales for GameCube was going as well as they really should have. Nintendo, usually their biggest problem is that they usually try to stay away from doing really adult games. They you know, really, you know, I understand them to a certain extent, but they just go too far. I mean, they were getting in trouble for this shit back in the days of Mortal Kombat. I remember Mortal Friday, you know, and, you know, but guess what? You know, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and guess what? I had Genesis, so I was able to rent, you know, the good Mortal Kombat. I didn't get stuck with the one with fake sweat, you know, and that's the thing is with my life. I realized, you know, as a gamer, I lived during all these huge moments of gaming history. Fortunately, the thing I hate the most about, you know, my childhood and things like that is I wasn't an adult when those games came out. I was a kid who was financially dependent on his parents. You know, I didn't, you know, my first job, you know, when I was 16, it was like in 1996, maybe, I think, maybe 97. So, yeah, I mean, I could actually remember using my job money on getting a PlayStation, a PS1, and then I used trade-in credit to get an N64. So that was like the really first time where I actually was able to say, okay, you know, I can get this, I can get that, I don't have to ask Dad. So that was cool, but you know, you don't understand the missed opportunities had I only been an adult. Because it's funny now, I would tell you something, I would probably have blown a brain cell if I was like 12-year-old, only 12 years old right now. Because look at all the PS3 games that come out. Well, yeah, 360. This is a big problem when you hear my reviews. A lot of times you'll hear me mention PS3 and not really give a shit about Xbox. It's just I had a bad experience. But I don't want to get into bashing it. But there are so many good games the last 2 years. Last 2 years, it's been unbelievable the amount of games. And it's very hard to keep up with them. I mean, I spent God knows what. I mean, my PS3 collection has grown so quickly. I'm glad that, you know, they're starting to rebate some games too. They're giving away like $20 towards a new game or something like that. And they have to. There's just so many new games coming out that there's actually good games that are getting missed. There's even like mediocre games where games that are like, they're not that bad, but the point is, there's a better game that has basically eclipsed them, and people have just missed out on that. But, you know, what I was trying to say about back in those days, I mean, you're not financially dependent. You know, you're gonna. A lot of times we only got these games if we had a good report card, or we had a birthday or Christmas, and that's, I think, in that thinking, that's the reason why when you see AVGN and you see a lot of these game reviews, you have to remember some of us got stuck with bad games. You know, we didn't. You know, our parents didn't have a list of. Now I was kind of lucky because, you know, my parents didn't just come home with a game. Okay, they just didn't come home with a game. Like, they knew better. They knew better than to make a wildfire guess on something like that. There was some games that are very unique that my dad, you know, I remember my dad bought me this one game that to this day I still think is pretty neat for Nintendo. It's called Star Voyager, and it's actually a space simulator. And I think to this day, I think that game's kind of neat. You know, that Nintendo didn't have a lot of games like that. I kind of admit, you know, the last few clips, you know, I've basically talked over the game. I'm just, you know, ignoring the game. But that's the thing is with Ninja Gaiden, sometimes you just die. It's just like what AVGN said, you know, you die. That's just basically it. There's a lot of other things you can add to the video, but okay, right here, this guy coming up right here is the guy where you need to use a glitch to get by. Not this guy, the guy who throws the crosses or whatever the hell they are. That guy. Part of the problem is when I do this audio track that it probably won't sync well to show who this person is. But the whole point is he's the green guy, the hooded green guy, throwing swords, and you got two hawks flying in two directions, flying back and forth. You have about 1 to 2 GIs jumping across platforms. You got a guy with a Sinbad look, with a sword, trying to kill you. I mean, you are overwhelmed. You got a flying bat, and now you got him. So to get past him, you gotta glitch it. And what you gotta do is you gotta kind of like stay in the left side of the platform a little, and move a little bit back, and eventually it disappears. And once you do that, then you're free to go right across. But the thing is that the thing that kills you about this is that all these things I just mentioned on the screen, they can respawn at a drop of a hat from one missed move. Sometimes you have to understand. Remember when I said you get moved if you move back to the left? Maybe just like you just tap the left button lightly. Well, guess what? It still counts that you move to the other side of the screen if an enemy knocks you back. So that means you have a respawn, and you're dealing with the current threat in front of you. So like I was trying to say is, you know, if I'm talking over the video and not even telling you what's going on the screen, it's because, you know, that's basically Ninja Gaiden. That's basically it. You got about 5 things on the screen. You got one guy knocking you back, respawning what you just killed. So you're constantly usually got about 5 things on the screen once you get to this level. And that's pretty much the end of this clip. Probably with some of these 10-minute clips, I may send some of this stuff to YouTube. I might, I don't know. Okay, and we're back on stage 6-2. think we haven't heard Poo Guppy Adams in a while. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna let Poo Guppy run this shit for a while.
It's just a rage quit. I warn you, Mabel. He doesn't finish it. It's a rage quit.
Pooh, stop it!
He rage quits. Look, Mabel. He rage quits. He gets a boss. He don't even kill this boss. He rage quits.
I use a glitch, okay? I get across it eventually.
Yeah, but you don't make it to the end of the game. You don't make it to the end of the game.
Just commentate the game, man. I need to take a break.
Okay, you knew that. I'm just speaking from the heart. Okay. It's sad because Gregory Beck, he's mad because
apparently Poo Guppy needs his medication. Sometimes he like gets stuck on his own words and stuff because he's using that inhale voice. You probably need some horse tranquilizers. Here you go.
yeah, like I was saying before, from the heart. Is that basically that Gregory Beck is mad because Elmer's Canadian horse meat Snack and Shack is closed. You know he's gotta rule the world with an iron fist.
Did you just say fisting?
I said that, you motherfucker. Now like I was saying, I'm able to do this playthrough. Speak thoroughly on this playthrough. Speak thoroughly on this playthrough because my job at the junkyard, they gave me the day off.
I think he needs more horse tranquilizer pills. Well, you know, Poo Guppy, I mean, you're very lucky, that, you know, you didn't have to deal with, Dragon's Lair that I did earlier.
Oh, that game sucks ass.
Oh, very much, man. You don't want to deal with that game. The further adventures of Crash Helmet Pete.
That game's horrible. Everything on this brain is trying to kill you.
Yeah, it is. Okay, now I'm going to use the glitch. They're right there. Never mind. Never mind.
You just got pwned.
Maybe the junkyard shouldn't have gave you the day off.
But you don't understand. They got suspended me.
They suspended you. For what?
I had to lift this car up the crane, and it fell on some guy.
Oh God, Poo Guppy. Oh God. Is he dead?
No. No, he's not dead. He's pissed. He's really pissed. Give me the day off.
Okay, Poo Guppy. Okay. I think I'll take back over if you don't mind.
Okay.
No, sadly. No, sadly. We're heading towards, you know, we're beginning, basically where we're heading towards very soon here is where I rage quit.
You say he's a quitter.
Shut the fuck up. And I'm being serious, people. I actually could not get past this part. I used as many load states as I could. I loaded as many save states as I could possibly load. And this section is like blockaded. I mean, and you have to understand, by this point of this game, of this playthrough, you're just being overwhelmed. I mean, you're just overwhelmed. You can't afford to have this happen. You're tired, and you know, you're just trying to get through this as much as you can. You can't do it. In the old days, people just used Game Genie. Just use Game Genie if you needed help. But we did. But I'll tell you something. This whole playthrough, and you can definitely see by how many times I die. I do not use Game Genie. I do not use Game Genie. I do not use a cheat code. Although, if you actually look at one of the earlier videos, I kind of was tempted. I went into the emulator and let's see what kind of cheat codes there is. Nothing popped up. Because I was kind of worried. I was wondering if I even make it this far or not. So I did make it this far. But I rage quit nonetheless. It's gonna be very interesting, you know, like, you know, it definitely shows you some of these games, you know, they're kind of built to stump you, you know. You know, in most games they give you a certain set of lives. That's just so, you know. I mean, I could literally see a bunch of guys at school sitting around study hall trying to wonder, you know, how they're gonna get through this. You know, they probably drew out a chart or something, you know. Like, okay, when we get home tonight, it's Friday night, we're gonna try to figure this shit out.
Hey, look at this hands with the eyeballs in it.
What?
Isn't that kind of messianic?
Well, hey, don't cough on me. Oh, you mean the eye in the hand? Not really. Not really. Dude. That's not very Messianic. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere, actually. That's kind of unique. That's a cool looking cult symbol. Let's see. This is a problem when you play this Ninja Gaiden this long, you just get stupid. You just start doing stupid things. I hope Gregory Peck is satisfied with himself. You know, that, you know, just because his favorite restaurant, Elmer's Tainted Horse Meat Snack Shack, Crackton, Ohio, had a day off. I know, he was mad. Fortunately, when Gregory Peck gets mad, it means that he's going to develop a volcanic underground operations. He's going to hire himself some goons and take over the world. That's right. We're all gonna suffer because Gregory Peck's favorite restaurant is closed.
I can't believe you have a day off. I need my favorite horse meat. I need it now. In fact, I'm so frustrated. So frustrated about this issue. I'm gonna take over this section of the marathon. That's right. With each game over. I'm getting a harder erection. I see those health points go down. Oh, it makes my penis harder. That's right. Gregory Peck! I enjoy watching these game overs. think I like cleaning horse meat? You haven't seen nothing yet, you little pecker. That's right. I love watching Ninja Gaiden moves. See that man? That man that with the pumpkin in the pumpkin head? He's one of my best friends. He serves as a line cook at Elmer's Tender Horse Meat Stacker Shack. And he's gonna help Ninja Gaiden move. I know. You can't take it. I can't take it. Now what's the shit with keeping time standing still? You can't do that. It's not possible. If I could do that, I would... Well, my favorite restaurant would have the day off. Who trained those assholes on the platform? Who trained them? Well, I, Gregory Peck, didn't train them to do that. That's just fucking... Oh my god, he lost. Game over. Oh, yeah. That's right, Gregory Peck. It's hard watching Ninja Gaiden moves. That's right. You know how hard it is to make a pigeon want to kill some prick? It's not easy. Stop freezing my ninja. And for your information, if you people really want to know, that man is Pac-Man. That's right, I, Gregory Peck, hired Pac-Man to kill Ninja Gaiden. And I pay good pay and don't pity anyone. There's nothing I can't stand but a pity platform jumper like Ryu.
I think I'm going to take over the broadcast. I think Gregory Peck has said his word on Ryu's shortcomings. But, you know, the marathon's basically coming to an end now. You're going to now see well, at least, you know, I can say I got to stage 6-3. I don't know if this... I think this is pretty much the last level, but... Jesus Christ, this is hard. It's just... It's almost like you get hit with a blockade. I'm sure... This is just insane. These guys jumping around. You're getting hit like left and right, and I told you. In Ninja Gaiden, you don't really get much hit invincibility. Maybe like part of a second you get like that, and you know. So I smell a rage quit coming. Partly the reason too is just after a while you just sort of lose your endurance. And of course it makes Gregory Peck's endurance even greater because he loves watching Ninja Gaiden lose. It just gives him a hard-on. He loves it. Helps him come better.
I smell rage quit.
I know, I do. I know, it's common, Poo Guppy. It's common.
That's what she said.
I smell a rage quit. Well, afraid the rage quit is coming up. There's only so many times you could say fuck on this section. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Usually you get about 3 guys coming down on the platform. So Ryu is getting knocked back. He follows the old NES rules of getting knocked back a section. And at this point, I've been playing for how many hours? And I think I was losing my mind. And if you notice, I only have half health. I'm on stage 6-3. At least got to the last level. Oh, I was so close. Yeah, at this point, I'm just blasting. Now, see, that's the hilarious thing. Right there, you actually get your health back, and it's like, it's so rare that ever happens. See, in premise, you should just, stand there, take those guys out, don't worry about it. 2 more pop up, right? And then you get knocked back, 2 more pop up, 2 more pop up. And you got those guys. Look, if you notice, the top screen is literally flickering. It is flickering from so much shit happening in one little area. It is. You got about a stream of fireballs going across that section there. Now you got 3 guys jumping at you at once, knocking you back, knocking you back, knocking you back. Then you got all this shit hitting you at once. It's not funny. It's just you just get your ass handed to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I think what it is you need to have a power-up. You need to have something to help you get through this, and you don't have anything. And now I'll definitely tell you too about Ninja Gaiden. Those shurikens you get, they're very easy to get and stuff. Most time, that doesn't help you whatsoever. Those things are mundane because the respawn rate is so chaotic. The only thing keeping you from jumping back once you get hit is if you're stuck on the wall. If you're sitting on the wall, you won't get knocked back, but you're still gonna get closer to a game over. Now, I believe this is the end of the marathon, and I think Ninja Gaiden was sort of a romantic choice to me. It was just, a very hard game. It's always been sort of legendary, and I really wanted it to be my first marathon game. But that is the end, and there will be more marathons to come in the future.